Okay.
So they can't give us PT. There's too many guys in the ship. I mean, we weren't the only battalion going over. I can't remember how many people there were, but we couldn't give us PT. There really wasn't any room to give classes or anything. Basically, you could go up on the top of the ship and you could look over the side and you could actually see what looked like flying fish as the bow of the boat was cutting through the water. You could see these fish getting out of the way, and it looked like they were flying. They didn't go way out of the air, way out of over the waves. They'd go up maybe about 1.5 feet or so, and you'd see them like splatter away. And the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, was very blue. It isn't like the ocean around where we see it. It was very beautiful. And of course, when we left to go out from underneath San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, the water was calm there. But once we got out on the ocean, the big ship would list back and forth, back and forth. It wasn't violent, but it was a very subtle movement, left to right, left to right. And of course, the first day on the ship, I got seasick and threw up. But after that, your body gets used to it. It's from the odorless in your ear that caused that. But anyway, there was no drinking or anything. There were no alcoholic beverages or anything. But the food was very good. We all had fresh fruit and everything. And we ate at tables with white dinner cloths and everything. So that part of the trip was very nice. And of course, we stopped over at Guam, and we were able to get off the ship there. And of course, everybody went to the military base there where there was a bar, and everybody got really drunk. They didn't have anybody that refused to get back on the ship, but they had a few guys they sort of had to drag back up on the ship because they were so plastered. And then the ship continued on to Vietnam, and I can remember going through part of the trip to Vietnam, going through the Philippine Islands, because that to get to
in 6.6 miles, continue on Church Street.
So to get to Vietnam generally is a straight line shot across the Pacific Ocean, but the Philippine Islands are in the way, so that ship would have. So the ship had to make these turns, that normally you wouldn't see going by these islands, which I do remember. And then from there it was a straight line shot to Vietnam. And I can remember when we got there, they didn't offload us. They actually had military police come out in these small boats. And while that big boat it wasn't, as I recall, it wasn't a harbor. We actually made 3 stops. We went to, I think it was Da Nang, Quy Nhon, and then Vung Tau were the 3 stops. And ours was the last stop. And at Vung Tau, there wasn't really a harbor there. So they sent I think it was Saigon. Yeah, it was Saigon. And when we got there, the military police came on board, and that night they dropped hand grenades over the side of the ship, and you could hear them going off underwater. That was to keep any frogmen from the Viet Cong from coming up and planting explosive charges on the side of the ship and blowing the thing up or sinking it. And then, of course, they took us ashore, and I don't remember how we got ashore, whether it was a small craft or what. I just don't remember. But I remember they had the Vietnamese girls there with the cross flags, and we went underneath that, and then they took us by truck, I think, to an airport, and then they flew us from Vung Tau over to Long Binh. And of course,